It is May the 14th, 2023. Started off by saying Happy Mother's Day. This is actually part of my rose garden. Say Happy Mother's Day to my mom and all the mothers. This Mr. Lincoln, my mother-in-law actually gave me about 15 years ago, and she's been gone for about 13 years. But we got 12 rose bushes. So happy Mother's Day if you're watching this late. Hope you had a great Mother's Day. We're going to step right through here into the blackberries and the raspberries. They are doing great. All greened up. So they've been in the ground just over a year, about 13 months. And we got a few blooms. Looking good. Been getting a ton of strawberries. Of course, been eating a bunch of green onions. We got some broccoli, cilantro, and dill came up in here. They're still pretty small. Had to replant here. We got the row of sunflowers along the back, along the fence. And we got the sunchokes, the Jerusalem artichokes in front of those. And here, the grape, the razzmatazz from Gurney, still has not shown any sign of life. So hopefully, we've had 80s last couple of weeks, or last week. So we'll see what happens with that. The squash here on the left and the cucumbers on the right. Had to replant a few cucumbers. Had to replant the okra. We only got 2 okra that came up from the planting about 3-4 weeks ago. And then I replanted this past Monday, and they're sprouting. So we should have some okra. We do have some broccoli over here. These were actually from my seeds. So we're gonna have some broccoli soon. The cauliflower that went to flower. Cabbages and onions. We got one Imperial Star artichoke. That's first year growing that. Started that from seed. Just some things I've been putting in pots. Some extra stuff. Had like 35 volunteer tomatoes come up, so I just put those in pots. Got a couple bell peppers. The spaghetti squash is coming up. Got 3 of those. This one over here was actually transplanted. It was stuck in the middle, so it's looking a little weak. The icicle radishes, I pulled a few right when the tops looked big enough, and they were real tiny, so I just let them go to flower. Snap peas are doing great, looking great. They're about neck high. Of course, the spinach doing good. Swiss chard's been doing good. Been eating some of it. Been eating carrots. Eggplants have gotten a little taller. Of course, the tomato plants. I think last video right in here we had a plant coming up I thought was a lima bean, and it turned out to be a radish, one of the purple plum radishes. We've got a few of those left. Been eating those. That one's about ready. The Sweet 100 tomatoes, they're about waist high. Got some blooms. See the Jetstar tomatoes inside the onions. They're about waist high as well. The potatoes that was left over from last year that are crowding my Roma tomatoes. Got a few other things thrown in there. I'm not really sure. Can't remember what those were. A few things planted in that pot. A couple yellow squash in that pot. Never planted in pots before. Got some broccoli inside the garlic, and a jalapeno pepper plant right in the middle. I'm hoping it'll work out that we'll harvest the garlic here in a couple weeks and then the pepper plant will just take off. And then we got some potatoes, red potatoes. I replanted some celery in the middle of those onions. Got some 4 Brussels sprouts. Pulled all these radishes that was in this row. I'll let one go to flower. Attract some pollinators. I got one little Napa cabbage that looks like it's going to flower. I guess this 80 degrees have been too much for it. A few cucumbers on that side of the cattle panel. Had to replant a few in the middle. Had to replant some squash here. Got the 2 bell peppers with some petunias. Got the 2 Roma tomatoes that I started from seed. 1 cabbage. I did replant this with some red cabbage seed. I think I planted a few things in that I don't remember. Going through here, the cabbage is looking good. Hopefully the air conditioner's not too loud. The cabbage with the asparagus, and then the broccoli with the asparagus. Those both look pretty great. Had to replant green beans. Just had those 2 from the initial plant. And then we got the sunchokes or Jerusalem artichokes behind them. And then I got a couple pole beans behind those. And then 2 more eggplants. The lettuce bed, we've just been eating a ton of lettuce. Got a few more popping up. Kind of trying to do the succession planting. The beets are doing good. Nice looking tops on them. And then these carrots, we tried to harvest a few. They just look bad, so we're just letting them go to seed. Try to get some seed off of them. And over here I threw a few of the volunteer tomatoes in 5-gallon buckets and had to replant this. That last cold snap we had 2 weekends ago, we got down in the freezing. A couple cucumbers made it. My little peppers, I'm hoping they'll make it. And replanted some pole beans over here. And in the containers, the fabric containers, those are 25-gallon. First time I've grown in fabric pots. So those are red potatoes, white potatoes, got some zucchini, and we actually got a couple, I can get down in there, a couple zucchini growing already, and some more potatoes. And then I planted some okra over here last week as well. It's starting to sprout, along with some sunflowers along the back. Only thing I got left to plant is sweet potatoes. I'll be doing that this week. If you stuck around till the end, you get a little sneak peek on the chicks. They are now, we've had them for 11 days now. So I'll be putting out a full video on them pretty soon. We got some Barred Rocks and some Buff Orpingtons. Did put out a short right after we got them. But hopefully about 4 months or so we'll have some eggs. Thanks for watching. Hit that like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about everything. Hope you mothers had a great Mother's Day. Till next time, have a great day.